So again, leading straight on, let's start putting in some windows, and I'll go with AC windows. I'm going to say sliding windows, and we'll just start with a basic window here. We'll just do that, and that. It's really all I'm interested in at the moment. What I'm then going to do, see, I could have put this so it was sort of sitting up on there, but that would have just been painful to try and get it to work properly. So I'll go to the modifier and I'll reduce the height down. There we go, and I'll reduce the width as well. And then I'll come into one of my views like this one. There we go, front view. And I'm just going to hide my shapes because they're just going to get in the way. There you go. Get a really good view of what we're doing here. And we'll just up the width a bit. Well, actually what we'll also do is we'll change the frame, because the frame's going to come in on us. But we really want to make sure that it does that and that we don't cause ourselves any problems. Okie dokie, so now back to my height. I'll just do this so that that fits, and I'll do this so that it fits as well. There we go. I love, one of the great things about this is you can just go, oh yeah, open. So that's really good. My rail width, which is far too small, will need to be made bigger. 10 millimeters for the glazing thickness at least. And there we go. Frame thickness as well, yeah, maybe a little bit less. Let's have a look. Actually, no, that should be good. Rail width. Yeah, no, that's fine as well. Depth. That's probably better. And then I'll just move that into place. Shift and drag my copy up to the top. Make sure that fits as well, maybe just down slightly. See, that should be in world. And then I'll shift and drag that across. Again, ever so slightly. Not really interested about getting that to fit in properly just yet, just line up. So there we go, there's it. There it is, lined up. Just gently tweaking it, gently, 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 gently. There we go. Right, so width. Just try moving that around a little bit. Again, I'm not going to get upset if it's not absolutely 100% perfect, because it's within a degree or two of being perfect. There we go, that'll do. What I want from this is, sorry, wrong set of keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, that works. And of course I haven't, it's this keyboard, it's not pressing the shift properly for me. There you go, that'll work. Then I'll take that and I'll make sure I've got shift, and there you go, there's my drag. We'll make copies of that. We'll take both of these and I'm going to shift and drag copies out over here. And then I'm going to rotate them around their local axis. And I'll rotate them around like that. So now everything fits. Genius, huh? So select all of those windows, bring up the materials editor, drop a material on them, take this window, shift and drag it over as a copy, rotate it by 90 degrees. And I'm going to just pop it into place over here. And again, we'll make sure that this fits correctly. Width in a little way. Would help if it didn't do that all the time by going from the middle, but there you go. Height. And then just pull that back in. There you go. It's fantastic, isn't it? I love working with this. So we'll make another copy of that. Just pull that up here. Copy. Make sure that it sits somewhere in about the middle of that window. So when I change the width for the window, it doesn't completely knacker everything. Change the width again. There we go, change the height. Oops. And again, I'm going to Alt W. There we go. That's all good. That's in there. I can probably start to close some of these windows as well now. Seems a little bit silly to have them all open. So just close them down. It's nice. It's a nice thing to have though, because I mean it adds a little bit of sort of detail and a little bit more depth into your work. If you're actually showing buildings where you've got open windows, you know, one's open, one's not, one's slightly open, one's slightly not open, that kind of thing. Right, so that's all good. So you can see the detail building up on this really rather quite rapidly. Shift and drag another window out here. Look at that in the top view. And oh, see, that was a little bit, didn't want that. That was a little bit frisky. It's me and my super duper Tesco's mouse. We'll reduce the width of this down very, very slightly. And again, I'll come in and I want to rotate this, so I'll go to the rotate tool settings. And it really doesn't matter which one I pick, so long as it does what I want. That'll do. Moving that one along to this side. Make this perspective by pressing P. Yeah, that's all right. Maybe drop those back in to the brickwork a little bit more. And then shift and drag. Make your copy, make it easy for yourself. Yeah, make it easy. So we're just going to lift this up using the move tool. Maybe give it a bit more height. So you notice we haven't done the other side yet, and we'll move on to that in a minute. Doors are done in pretty much the same way. Windows, doors, pivot door. It's about that, it's about that, it's about that. Yeah. Frame width needs to be more than 20. Unfortunately, this goes out instead of in. Still never figured out why. Number of panels horizontally and vertically. I'll increase that munting quite a bit. And I'm going to increase the bottom rail here. And a little bit of the thickness of the door. and a little bit of the top rail. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Increase that bottom panel up a little bit more. There, that's looking good. I'm liking the look of that a lot. So very simple, very plain door. Nothing spectacular. It's not like it's a massively expensive house, because it's not. So we don't need to make it look too grandiose. There we go, width. Keep going with the width until it fits. So that's putting my door in. Make sure the door frame still sits on the window. And we're then going to shift and drag and make a copy. And I'll rotate that through 90 degrees. And I'll move that into the doorway over here. And there you can see we've got a lot of the detail that we need in one window. Redo. Would help, as I say, if this shift key worked. It would cease me from getting as stressed as I am becoming, because I keep thinking that I've missed something and I know full well I haven't. There you go. It's a good amount of the detail on there as we're ever going to get. So what I'm going to do now is I'll delete these objects off here because we don't need them. And I'm going to use the little known mirror tool, which obviously gets used by everybody. And I'm going to mirror and then drag mirror along Y. See, that's still not working. Wonder why. Let's mirror, copy around Z, Y, X. So this is where it can get a little bit complicated sometimes. If I put this into wireframe mode and I do a mirror now, what I'm looking for is obviously not what I'm getting. Okay, that's a little bit strange. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag these over and make copies that way. So I just shift and drag that one. I'll shift and I'll drag that one. And then I'll take these two objects and I'll shift and I'll drag them as well. So remember, life isn't all completely rubbish. It can be quite easy to work. And then I'll take all of this information here and I'll shift and I'll drag that across as well. So we've got all of that detail there, all in one go. Now obviously these windows, because we're not going to edit them anymore, it doesn't matter if they're mirrored or not, so we'll mirror them and we will drag them over, and here we go. We'll move that in there, we'll put this in here, and I'll put that door in place. Just move that over slightly. There we go, and we'll put it inside the building as well so that fits nice and neatly. Maybe pull it over so it actually fits properly. There we go. And we've got the doors and the windows in there now. Next thing is to put the roof and the guttering on.